Hello everyone, welcome to our class. We're just going to sit for a moment and wait for the top of the hour. So if you are here with me, find a moment to come into your breath, come into your body, find yourself in this space, and just begin to tune in. Thank you everyone again. Happy Easter Sunday. And welcome to day 25 of our Facebook yoga class. It will continue on Facebook until the glitches of YouTube are sorted. I do thank you for your patience. As I continue to speak, come into a natural breath, but before you get too comfortable, make sure you've got all of your props, your scarf, your blocks. I've got the fireplace on today because we are going to be coming into some more deeper meditative positions, and I will take an extended Shavasana with Yoga Nidra visualization towards the end. Again, because we are holding the positions, this practice is not recommended for children or anyone whose bones have not yet ossified. If you would like to join for the breathing, you are welcome, but do not hold the poses. And of course, kids yoga coming next week after April 17th. Okay, now that you've found your breath, take a moment to find the balloon in your belly. You can find yourself sitting tall against the wall, against the ether, with a pad under the hips. Any sort of support you would like. Hands can be facing upwards, seeking knowledge, facing downward, professing knowledge. Fingers can be in a variety of different mudras. Having your first index finger and thumb connected is often nice. It keeps that energy circulation. You may also want to take the tip of the tongue, touch behind the top of the teeth, about an inch or two. You'll notice the soft palate and the top roof of the mouth. And just curl the tongue back slightly, pushing into that place. And again, this is just another mudra, or a hold, a lock within the body that helps that circulation flowing naturally and finding where exactly it needs to be. You don't have to understand exactly what is happening. You just have to trust the process and breathe. Continuing to breathe into your belly, feeling that second space in the barrel of the lungs. So feel that wave. The belly expands, the barrel in the lungs also expands. Feel that breath about 5 times. And if you're not naturally feeling the barrel in the lungs before the balloon in the belly expands, stay in the belly for a little while. Today we are going to do quite a bit of breathing. If you do feel lightheaded, dizzy, nauseous at any point, come into a child's position. Or, of course, stop altogether. If you do have any circulatory issues, hypertension, hypotension, or otherwise, do be sure to consult a physician or someone, whomever you consult on your health issues prior to doing any of the more intensive practices. But today we will be focusing on Pranayama, which is the control of the vital life force through the breath, as well as Dhyana, which is the meditative forms. So continuing to breathe, balloon in the belly, barrel in the ribs. Now feel those spaces in your faces. Feel the shoulders getting lighter, melting down the ribs. Shoulder blades in the back, dripping down your spine. Keep lifting from the heart center. Feel the sternum opening, dropping the rib cage, feeling that elasticity. And with every breath, the wave motioning through the body. And at its highest, into that ethereal sort of auric energy field, and collapsing back down. Continue to breathe 4 or 5 times. Full 3-part deep breath. Checking in, making sure the posture remains tall and relaxed. And if you'd like to also invite the Ujjayi breath into this 3-part breath, you are now welcome. The Ujjayi is a contraction of the throat, or more specifically of the larynx. It will sound almost like you're fogging a glass or a mirror with your mouth closed. So continuing to breathe another few breaths in through the nose, out through the nose, using the Ujjayi breathing technique, feeling that 3-part breath expansion. Every inhale a little bit longer than the last. And every exhale should always be twice as long as your last inhale. So we are gradually extending the breath. I have silence in my background to avoid any further technical problems or audio issues. But of course, do feel free to put on any sort of relaxing music, natural sounds, or tuning into all the vibratory systems around you. If at any time during our pranayama you need to adjust your legs, feel free to do so. We will be coming into a few different meditative asana, but we will not be going into a deeper yin or any further vinyasa or flow positions today. Today we are focusing on the breath, meditative asanas, to take us into our meditative stance. When you are ready, let's remove the hands from the knees, sitting up nice and tall, shoulders down. 3 breaths in, using the arms. So inhaling, arms up, eyes at the elbows open, palms stretching, fingers lengthening, reaching, widening. And once you touch the tip of your fingers, changing direction of the palms as they now face downward, and exhale. Lengthening the bicep, the tricep, opening through the elbows. And once you touch the tips of the fingers, then coming up. And exhaling down. Taking this first practice as an opportunity to bring the body and the mind together. Yog means union. Inhaling last one, arms up. Union of a variety of systems, primarily the body and the mind. Yoga is not a religious practice. I cannot emphasize that enough as we enter into these meditative realms. I'll continue to talk about that throughout the practice today. Let's bring our arms into a T-shaped position, palms facing upward, shoulders down, eyes at the elbows opening. And we're going to come into the Brahmari breath, ode to the bumblebee, as the honeybee hopefully makes its way near you and me very soon to start pollinating and, of course, bringing spring closer. So when you're ready, bending the elbows, inhaling, we're going to take the index finger and poke it into our cartilage, pressing just so you can exhale with a nice humming sound. You can close your eyes if you'd like to really feel the effects of this practice. And when you're ready, inhaling, arms out, fingers wide, all the fingers. We'll do this 3 times in total. So again, inhaling, bring the fingers in and and again, arms out, feeling those biceps working. And again, last one, coming in, index fingers into the cartilage. Exhale with a hum. And inhale, arms out. It's coming with a hug, so palms facing the center. Inhaling, coming together. And bring the arms, hands to each elbow. To each shoulder. Really hang on tight here as we exhale, round down, chin into the chest. Make a nice, gentle lean back onto your sacrum. And inhaling up, just sit nice and tall. Drop the lower arm. So for me, my left arm is under, my right arm is on top. I'm going to keep my hand on my right shoulder. And as my left arm comes out, I'm just going to continue to push it out just slightly and looking to the opposite direction. Continue to push on that arm outward, back. You might even want to drop it down a little bit. You can adjust your position here and until you really feel the deepest stretch. And once you have really found a nice place of comfort, let's drop the chin down sort of into a quarter circle. So chin coming down and rounding down to center as the back of the neck stretches. So inhale again, quarter circle leading from the chin back out to the side. Feel the stretch on the side of the skull, down the temple, into your jaw. And on your next inhale, release and both arms back up. Same thing on the other side. So if your right hand was on top, this time your left will come on top as we come into a hug. Holding on to the shoulders, walk the fingers back as far as they can go. Exhale, leaning forward, tilting down, even rounding a little bit, bringing the chin into the chest, rounding onto the sacrum. Inhale, arms up. Your left arm or your opposite arm should be on top, so dropping the right, bringing it out to the side. And again, just giving a little bit of a push as we look to the opposite side. And exhale, folding down. And when you're ready, inhaling back up, arms both out to the side. And inhale up, eyes of the elbows bending, grasping the elbows into the palms, making a bit of a picture frame, lifting, lengthening in the upper body, dropping down in the shoulders, and very slightly, just with the upper body, we're going to exhale, leaning almost as though you're bringing just the shoulder and the rib. Try to keep nice and long in the thoracic spine. And inhaling up. And exhale as we come down. All of our breath is associated with movement. We want to inhale as we lift. And exhale as we release. Let's bring the hands open, interlace the fingers, drop them behind the head. Exhaling again, bringing the elbows together. Make a little cozy room for yourself. And stretching out the cervical spine. So exhale, chin into the chest. And continuing to bring the weight down only until you feel those first 7 vertebrae really stretching out. Once you come into the next lumbar region, the next thoracic region of the spine, just let the shoulders hang here and stretching out nice and deeply. And inhale, elbows out, arms up. And release. Very good. Let's drop the palms behind you. So fingers facing towards you. Lift the feet, toes pointing away from you. We're going to come into a reverse table, just a bit of a movement. And again, if you have wrist injuries, you can come down into this position and lift from here. If you feel that your shoulders have issues, you can also come down a little bit lower and come from here. Otherwise, let's move from the hips, stretching out the back body. When you're ready, making sure that the feet and hands are about shoulder distance apart. Let's inhaling, lift, chin into the chest, really squeeze your bum, and just slowly rocking forward as far as you can go, and coming back. Okay, you can lift your toes and your heels a little bit, starting to stretch out the bottom of the feet, starting to stretch out the heels. And one more time forward. And this time as we exhale back, let's come back and try to swing your bottom through your hands and coming into a seated position, Paschimottanasana, which is simply a two-leg straight forward bend. So if you feel your hips are a little bit off center, do not lift one buttock and the next buttock. Take both of your hands, lift your hips, swing the feet or roll the heels a little bit side to side. Okay, you can kind of see the heels rolling side to side. Once the toes are coming together, femurs are open, that's your thigh bone, then flatten, trying to flatten down the pelvic floor. And we're going to come into a 3-minute Paschimottanasana. So this is going to be our first yin hold. While we are holding, we will be practicing a deep Ujjayi breath. So when you're ready, inhaling from this moment, arms up, shoulders down, and with a nice straight back, keeping the head lifting, arms lifting, neck and chin lifting. And then once you feel you've sort of hit your limit, use your strap as well if you like. You can really just start to pull yourself in, almost as though the lower back is arching here. Remember, those femurs are rolling out. And then start to feel into the lumbar regions of the spine, bringing the chin, the belly onto your thighs, slowly bringing the ribs towards your knees, and slowly coming down, bringing the knees to the nose, nose to the knees, and hold this for another 2 minutes, and breathe. Of course, the knees can be a little bit bent, but you'll notice if you bend the knees, you'll get a little bit of a release in the lower back. If you keep the knees straight, you're focusing a little bit on the upper back and, of course, getting deep stretch in the legs themselves. If you'd like a bit of a deeper stretch, you can bring a block onto the bottom of your knees, or two if you would so choose. Whichever position you find yourself in, any forward bend, we are in a position of submission, acceptance, and surrender. Feel the wave along your spine, starting from the balloon in your belly as you breathe deeply, expanding all of the internal space. And exhaling, release, very gentle. That's 2 minutes. Feeling the greater presence of your pulmonary system is in the back body. So in any forward bend, we're really giving a chance to open up the deepest breath potential, stretching out all the intercostal muscles between the rib cage. That is definitely going to help with the flow of the oxygenated blood into the capillaries of the lungs. And of course, the longer that we hold these positions, we are now practicing a yin type of yoga. Yin is the softer, more gentle energy that is restorative, that heals the body, and that focuses on our fascia and our fascia tissue rather than the more macro skeletal muscular system of the body. That's 3 minutes. So keeping the chin tucked in the chest. When you're ready, slowly rolling back. And vertebrae by vertebrae, trying to come up, stacking each upon the next. Shoulders is the last thing. Chin follows. And then the straightening of the neck, lifting of the head. And you may want to turn side to side, giving a little bit of a opening in the upper body and a little bit of an opening as well throughout the ribs. Now, I will adjust myself just for demonstration purposes, but you can stay as you are. So we're going to simply bend the knees in and come over into that Ardha Vajrasana, or the easy sort of sitting position. Now here, make sure that your feet are relaxed. Make sure that there's no bone interrupting each other. So if the legs are out to the side, you can have the legs are out to the right side. You can have the left toes just behind the right heel. Sitting nice and gently, feeling balance in the body. Inhaling, arms up, shoulders down, eyes at the elbows open. Lifting, looking up, making the fingers into that bit of a trigger position. Shoulders down, shoulder blades melting down the spine. And exhale, let's fall to the same side as the feet. Looking up past the armpit. Making sure the shoulders do not lurch forward, staying squared in the body. Relax the legs, relax your feet, relax your hips, relax your bum. And just start to feel the energy, prana, flowing through the body. Exhale, release your hands, bringing them to your leg, one to the knee, one to the ankle, and lifting and twisting. Feel the internal organs shifting around. And breathe. One deep breath here. And inhale, sunrise. Arms up, nice, wide. Positions, planting the palm. Fingers pointing away from us. This will be the only real bit of movement we have in the session, just to move that prana through the body before we come into our meditation. And inhaling up onto one knee, that same hand, and lengthen the opposite leg, lifting the opposite arm nice and high. This is position 1. If you'd like to stay here, you're welcome. Otherwise, you can start to lift the leg for a bit of a balance. And if you'd like a bit of a stretch or back bend, you can start to bring the hand back. Little monkey's having a dream. And breathing here. She snores. And exhale, release. And coming back to Vajrasana. So now we'll do the same thing on the opposite side, so letting the hips fall to the other side, keeping the feet in a comfortable way. They don't have to be in any specific type of way, as long as you feel there's no hardness of the bones pressing against each other. Inhaling, arms up, shoulders down, eyes at the elbows open, touching the fingers, interlace, making that trigger finger. Shoulders dripping down the spine, lifting in the upper body. And exhale, letting your body fold down towards the bent knees, keeping the shoulders open. Relax your feet, relax your legs, relax your bum. Taking a few deep breaths here, and when you're ready, exhale, releasing the hands, bringing them to the joints. So one to the knee, one to the ankle, and twisting and pushing. Looking behind you and looking and twisting with everything you've got. Eyes, ears, mouth, and nose, chin and chest, shoulders, ribs, your heart, your intention. Everything is twisting. Twisting is the digestive agent. Inhaling, coming back. Maybe for food, maybe for water. Definitely for thoughts. Definitely for life experiences. And when you're ready, let's come back up into a Vajrasana. We're going to stay here for about 3 minutes, so if you find it's very uncomfortable, take a block or the pillow, sit on it in the center, just give a little bit of a lift. Otherwise, this acts as a nice circulatory control system, locking the arteries, maintaining the flow of oxygenated breath into the core of the body. As I said in one of the sessions the other day, our cranium and our spine is all we need to survive. And if we look at the shape of that, it's basically just a single-celled organism. It looks like a little worm. A life-giving organism indeed. We will practice Nadi Shodhana Pranayama for a few minutes in this position, which is alternative nostril breathing. If you're familiar with the practice, please begin now. Otherwise, I will demonstrate and walk you through. With the right hand folding down the second and third finger, we're going to first block the right nostril with the right thumb. Then we're going to inhale left, open, close left, open right, exhale right, inhale right, close right, open left, exhale. Inhale left, close left, open right, exhale. So we're following a V-shaped position with our breath. Now today, if this is your first time, follow that breath regularly. If you have done this before, or if you are an experienced pranayama practitioner, we are going to introduce a kumbhaka technique today, which is a hold of the breath. We will hold the breath while it's inside the body, not while it's outside the body. So an antara kumbhaka, when you're ready. So inhaling, bringing the right thumb to the right nostril. Exhale completely through the left. And let's begin. Inhaling. Close left, open right, and exhale completely. My hand is only here to demonstrate. You do not have to do the hand motion. And inhale right. Excuse me, and we're going to hold here. So close and hold for 2, 3, 4. Open right and exhale. Now 4 is a bit too long. You can hold it for however long your inhale is. So again, let's practice. Inhale. Hold. Open right. Exhale for twice as long as your inhale. So if it was 4, then your exhalation is 8. Nice and slow. Inhale. Close. Hold. Exhale. Nice and slowly. Again, we're still using the 3 parts of the breath. We're still using the Ujjayi breathing technique. We are still extending our exhale to be twice as long as our inhale. One more round when you're ready. Inhaling. Hold. Open right and exhale. And inhale. Hold. And open left, exhale. And release. Take a moment to feel the effects on the body as well as to get your block. We're going to come into Yuki's position. In my case, I'm going to keep my legs in a bent position, not in Vajrasana, but in Virasana. So if you would like to keep your legs bent, simply widen the legs, sitting between them, inserting the block into that tiny monkey, having the hands about 6 to 8 inches away. That's where the base of the block goes. So lining yourself up there. Now, this can be a little bit tight. If so, simply come into a bent leg position. This will be the most beneficial for you. Okay? If that is inaccessible, simply straighten the legs and walk the hands back and find the spot where you don't feel pain. And we are going to hold this for 3 minutes. So again, mentally preparing yourself for that length of time from this moment. Exhaling. And of course, if you are using a block and you would like to have some additional support in your head, for your head, you can allow another block to be here. You can also use your arms and really stretch out that top of your spine, cervical spine, and keep that same position as we did in the beginning. The elbows in nice and close. You create a little bit of a comfort zone for yourself. Otherwise, if you're a little bit more comfortable, let the arms come out to the side. Let the neck lengthen. This is a practice to help counteract the effects of time and gravity on the skin, which inevitably causes us to be melting, which gives the visual appearance of wrinkles. We do a lot of forward bends in our life, in our day-to-day practice, and often even in our yoga practice. So really take a moment to let go in this back bend and know that you are counteracting your daily routine. So just being in this position is really starting to create new neural pathways. Now already that's 90 seconds. After about 45 seconds to a minute in any yin position, you will start to feel a phase change. You will start to feel the chemical release of the hyaluronic acid from the joints. Now, if your arms are out to the side, you may want to take a moment to just wiggle the fingers, start to activate them, and inhaling, lift. We can bring our hands back into that hug position, or we can bring the hands back behind the head, interlacing the fingers. And when you're ready, let's gently start to bring the elbows together and inhaling up. And we're going to come all the way forward into a child's position. So keeping the knees nice and wide, we're simply going to fold forward. I'll adjust simply for demonstration. And again, we're going to hold this for another 3 minutes. So exhaling forward, making sure the hips are nice and relaxed, releasing any tension. Walk the hands as far as they comfortably can go. And when you're ready, let the forehead come into contact with the ground. And let's completely let go. With every inhale, lengthening, finding space between each vertebrae. With every exhale, releasing any tension. And of course, similarly, if this is not accessible, you can be sitting on your block. If this is tight in the knees, you can have some pillows or towels, blankets underneath your knees, or simply bring the legs together so that our knees are together, and we can just be rounding down. As long as we're starting to counteract that deep back bend by having a nice, long, lengthening child's position. Breathing into the upper backs of your lungs. It's just over 1 minute here, so mentally prepare yourself to stay for another 2 minutes. If at any time it is uncomfortable or painful, come out a few millimeters, or conversely, should you find your body opening during the practice, take space and breathe. Find your edge. Your edge is about 70% of your full capacity. That's where we will want to be in a traditional yin practice. And using the tenets of yin, that being time, stillness, and your edge. Those three factors together will empower your practice, will deepen your pose. Almost there, another 30 seconds. And again, we are contracting our blood flow with these positions. So you may start to feel a little bit tingly in the legs or the toes where there's constricted blood flow. Remind yourself that that's absolutely normal for what we are doing. Have no fear, have no worry. Remind yourself that this too shall pass. Whether positive or negative, all experiences of life are mere experiences, and seeking the middle ground, we ought to not be connected to any of these sensations. Even if you're finding this intensely pleasurable, get ready to let it go. And when you're ready, very gently, with a nice rounded back, keeping the chin into the chest, coming up into a nice round tabletop position. Again, I'll adjust myself simply for a demonstration. So rounding up. You could walk the hands forward if you'd like, just a few inches, and exhale, let the hips sink down. If you're comfortable, or coming as far as you're comfortable. And if you are comfortable coming down all the way, let's just bend the legs. The knees are still separated, and tilt the head back. Now we're going to follow that flow for just a few breaths. When we are holding our hands in any way, the hands are strong. The weight is in the first knuckle. Shoulders are down, arms are lengthening, and when you're ready, inhale, keeping the chin into the chest, lifting from your hips, coming back down into a nice lengthened child's position. Deep breath here, and exhale completely. When you're ready, inhaling up with a nice round back, and exhaling down. So during the breath work, we also want to do a little bit of back bending to activate the Sushumna, the Ida, the Pingala, which are the main energy channels of the body, correlating with the Western anatomical meridian lines. which is, of course, mostly where our lymphatic system can be found, which is, of course, the entire system on which every other part of the body relies. It is our drainage, it is our cleansing. So let's come back and through a tabletop position, walking ourselves back onto our bottoms. However you get there is your business. And just coming into a nice hold. Just hold yourself here for a moment. Knees into the chest, arms into the elbows. Making sure you have enough space behind you, not to cause any injury or comic relief. And when you're ready, we're just going to come into a bit of a balance. So starting to lift up onto your toes, finding that sweet spot in the lower back. You can be still, you can rock side to side, making small circles, whatever your body needs. But breathing very deeply. Balancing is very good for concentration, for focus, for attention, for studying as we enter the final exams at Selkirk College this week. Let's begin to remove our hands from the elbows and start to bring them onto each respective knee. So right hand to right knee, left hand to left knee. And let's just exhale, lengthening the arm and letting the tailbone lean back. Don't let the feet touch the ground. They're still hovering. Leaning back slightly. Start to feel that full pressure on the sacrum, on the tailbone, and up probably a little bit into the lower lumbar regions of the spine. And again, inhaling up. Follow your breath 3 or 4 times. And relax. Nice and deeply inhaling up. And exhaling down. Inhaling up. And this time as we exhale down, let's start to roll just a little bit, get a little bit of playfulness in here. And when you're ready, let's come flat onto our backs, 2 legs raised. And let's just focus on getting all that blood into the core of the body so we can come into a nice, relaxing Shavasana Yoga Nidra. So 2 legs raised. Feel the pressure in the lower back, lower spine. You can give them a bit of a scissors kick, just a little bit of a bounce. And arms out to the side, T-shaped position, palms facing upward. Let's bend the knees down and coming into a pendulum type of drop. So nice and controlled, exhaling, just touching the knees down, lengthening the spine, and inhale, opposite side. Once you get to the top, your exhale commences to the opposite side. And feel the lengthening of your lumbar region. Feel how your sacrum wants to participate. It is fused together, of course. Several bones over several 100,000 years. But it knows that there are spaces in there. You know you can feel those pockets where you can inhale the prana, inhale your relaxation. And legs back to center, flattening the soles, feet to the outer edge of your mat. Bring our arms up above, toes facing down, fingers facing up. We'll come into a dynamic plow position. So as we inhale, we're going to lift our hips and bring our arms down. So inhale, lift the hips, bring the arms down, chin into the chest. Do not look around. Lifting and exhale, reverse. Again, try to move vertebrae by vertebrae. Try to combine the movement of your shoulders and your arms. Inhaling up, chin to the chest, really lifting, pushing the biceps and the heels in, and again, coming down. We'll do that one more time. Inhaling up. And slowly exhaling down. This time, arms up, out to the side. One last time. If the legs need to be spread a little bit more, we'll come into a windshield wiper position. So simply letting the legs fall, flailing down. And as we do this, let the feet actually move down the floor just a little bit. So every time they come up, let them drop just a little bit. So that eventually we'll be doing very shallow windshield wipers, and eventually our legs will come flat and we find ourselves in Shavasana. Now take a moment to gather your blankets, your warmth, your pillows, whatever you may need around you. We are going to come into a longer meditation today. So as you continue to keep your eyes closed, your breath deep, your heart soft, your mind open, your body relaxed, your prana flowing freely, your vidya activating, and become aware of the breathing process. Let your awareness flow with the breath. Be totally attentive to everything incoming and outgoing as your breathing becomes slower and more rhythmic and more relaxed. Take your concentration to the breath in the throat, activating the Ujjayi breathing technique, and observe your body becoming more and more relaxed, heavier and heavier as your breath becomes deeper and deeper. As you breathe in, count slowly to 5. And as you breathe out, slowly to 5. The breathing is effortless and natural, relaxing deeper and deeper with each breath. Internalize your awareness and imagine that there is a thin, transparent tube of light running in a straight line between the throat and the navel. Try to strongly visualize this. Be creative. Be free. Listen to your mind's eye. Try to visualize this tube running from the throat to the navel, and visualize it mentally without incorporating your breathing awareness. And now allow the breath to fill that space. Begin to move your consciousness very slowly up the inside of the tube, then bring it slowly and evenly down again. And now with your breath, let your awareness flow with the breath up and down this tube, this passage, this psychic area. This is the base of your Sushumna. The Sushumna is the main energy channel running through your body, running through your spine. And now the two forces of your breath, which is the vital force, and your awareness, which is your mental force. These two forces now have come into a union. These two forces, which constitute you being aware of your being, are moving together within a perfect path of power. Now, become aware of the Ajna chakra. This is the third force. This place along the third eye. So visualize that tube lifting from the throat and the navel, now extending upwards through the throat, through the face, into the Ajna chakra at the center of your forehead. As you move into this space, add in consciousness. As consciousness is moving with the breath and along the breath, the prana, the vital life force, the chi, is also moving. The awareness, the breath, and the prana are moving together up and down the psychic passage. The movement of prana is neither heavy nor light, neither hot nor cold, nor is it a physical sensation. It moves in the form of streaks or particles of light. Whatever visual comes into your realm, follow that creative force. Visualize this creative particle of light, this streak of light, however you may see it. Visualize the bright white light flowing up and down this nadi sushumna in the center of your body as your consciousness travels up and down with the breath. Observe the slender flowing river of white, bright light. This is your prana, flowing with the breath, with the consciousness inside this passage. Now leave awareness of this frontal psychic passage and transfer your awareness inside the spinal psychic passage. So just behind that tube of light, melt down as you fall. Your consciousness falls into your spine, the center of your spine, between the ajna, in the center of your forehead chakra, and the Muladhara chakra, which is the base chakra of the body. Develop the awareness of this passage extending from the perineum just below the base of the spine up into the midbrain. Visualize a similar transparent light, white or silver in color, spanning this entire area. And again, move your awareness very slowly up inside the tube, running along your spine. And at the top of your breath, follow that electric light back down to the Muladhara chakra. And again, once you expire your breath, follow it again as you raise up and allowing your awareness to follow. Your awareness and your breath now moving together as you inhale. Try to feel the breath moving from the Muladhara just below the spine, the base of your body, to the Ajna chakra, which is at the top of the spine, finding itself at the third eye center. As you exhale, feel the breath descend back down towards Muladhara. And again, follow that breath. Follow that light. Adhipatthana, and begin to let all of this energy expanding into the rest of the limbs of the body. As you continue to breathe very deeply, inhaling bright white light, and feeling that healing force resonating through the body. At what vibration you resonate is the same vibration that you will change the energy that enters your body. So to sustain the healing energy that we are inhaling, we must increase the vibration of our bodies. Similarly, if our bodies are vibrating at a high level, we are able to transcend the forces around us, so that all beings are brought into the same rhythmic law, the same intention of ingesting the bright, white, healing light into the body, and allow your breath to disseminate through the body to the tips of the fingers and the tips of the toes, the extreme peripheries of the body. Feeling the breath lifting, following the rhythm of the balloon, the barrel, into the chest and the throat. Rotating your consciousness through your anatomy, finding any places of tightness or tension, be they physical or mental. Find them, release them, watch them go. They do not belong to you. They do not belong in your body. They are taking space best used otherwise. Continuing to breathe very deeply, and if you would like to stay in Shavasana for a longer time, you are most welcome. Otherwise, keeping your eyes closed, breath deep, heart soft, mind open, body very relaxed. Slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, allowing your head to turn to the left very slowly and to the right, feeling the massage on the back of your skull. Bring your head back to center, inhaling both arms up along the floor, interlacing the fingers above you, and exhale to the left, making a crescent moon shape, stretching from the hips to the fingertips down. And inhale back to center, opposite side as we exhale. And release, coming back to center. Bending the knees in, hugging the legs. Taking a moment here to either find stillness, rocking side to side, or making small, medium, or large circles with your knees, targeting wherever you may have any back pains or discomfort. And when you are ready, and only when you are ready, keeping the knees in, allow yourself to fall down onto the right-hand side, using the right bicep as a pillow. Being on the right will help to relax that eternally beating organ of the heart, muscle, I should say. All the work that it is doing through all the days of your lives. Take a minute to thank your heart. Take a minute to thank all of those people who have helped you to become who you are today. Take a moment to send your love and energy to all those who are suffering. Allow a smile to come across the face, releasing endorphins from the practice, maintaining your sense of power, positivity, as we pursue through this global shift. And when you are ready, and only when you are ready, very gently coming back up to a comfortably seated position. Taking a moment to feel the effects of the practice on the body, whether the hands are facing up, seeking knowledge, or down, confident in the knowledge you have gained. It is traditional to close the practice by chanting Om together 3 times. This is a breath extension as well as vibration creation, and adding a tertiary level to this practice is a 7 p.m. PST honoring of all the frontline workers, as well as those who have passed away during this time. When you're ready, hands into the chest, thumbs into the sternum, feeling the rhythm of your heart, following the rhythm of your destiny. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om, Atman Namaste. Thank you very much for your time, your energy, and your practice. I hope you feel relaxed and ready for another day of holiday tomorrow. And as I say, just a reminder, you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the emotions, you are the light. The only way, or one of the best ways to become the light, is to breathe.